What's up?
Hey, PG, what's going on?
How's it going?
I'm just like, so I figured out how to live stream to Instagram from my MacBook, so I'm hoping to put out more content soon.
What do you mean to your MacBook?
So I can log in through this studio platform on my MacBook,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll deliver a live stream feed to my Instagram account. So I have a lot more control over like the quality of the video and then like different graphics in the background. So like if I wanted to
Gotcha.
throw my logo like on this live stream, I can do that
So
from my
you're on your
Mac.
computer right now?
I'm not on it right
Uh,
now because I just learned the software this morning, but down the line, I'm definitely gonna put out more live streams.
gotcha. Yeah, I think a lot of people are trying to figure out what to do with the live streams.
Yeah. From a business standpoint, like Instagram and YouTube, they can't put advertisements on the live stream. So,
Yeah,
that's like a problem that they're going to have to figure out, but we can take advantage of it while it's still free.
yeah. You know your camera is like the other way. Like,
Oh, yeah. All right, let's see. All right, cool. There we go.
there you go. So
All
so
right.
what's new?
So what's
What?
new? I mean, what'd you say?
Yeah, I was basically gonna say the same thing you were gonna say. So what's new with you?
I'm just trying to figure out like what to do in the quarantine. I had a lot of projects lined up.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go on tour with Nick Cannon and like shoot some of the Wild and Out like artists, like try to give them some content, but that like went down the drain because of the quarantine. And so I'm thinking about starting a production company and like starting a podcast to talk about like technology and like cameras.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
How'd you get into photography originally?
So during my undergrad, I was self-taught. Like I saved up all my money from my internships, and then I purchased like a really cheap Canon, and I would drive down to New Haven. I went to school in New Britain at the time, and I would drive down to like Toad's Place in New Haven and just start like taking pictures at the concerts. Like I wouldn't even pay to get in. Like sometimes I would sneak in or like try to like hit up a friend. But after I graduated, I started working at this tech startup, and we did really well. We made a lot of money, $11 million that year, and they gave me like the option to keep working at the startup, or I can like cash out and leave. So I decided to like take my options and leave, and now like I'm doing photography and video full time.
Gotcha. Like where'd the passion though come from, like photography? Or like did you know about it? Like did you know you had a passion for photography before you did it or no?
Yeah, I would always like be on my iPhone and like try to take really cool pictures, and like I was a Tumblr kid, so if something looked interesting, like I would just put it on my Tumblr. But then I'm like, oh wait, like now I have the control to like put out my own content or like show like what I think is dope because like we have the iPhone, and then like now I started making money in college, and then I can afford to buy a camera. That's like one of the hurdles with photography is the equipment is so expensive, so like there'll be kids like who want to take pictures and do video, but they can't afford it because like my setup now is like $10,000, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like there's no way I would ever think that I could afford something like that when I first started. But you just kind of like gotta keep going and take every opportunity you can get.
Well, all right. So yeah, what are some like hacks with like using your phone and stuff like that? Like let's say you don't have a camera.
Oh, okay. So one of the biggest hacks for taking iPhone photography and video, there's this product called Olo Clips. It's OLLO Clips, and they allow you to get like that high definition picture on your iPhone. So like they're adjustable lenses that you can put on your iPhone camera. So like instead of buying like that $2,000 Canon lens, you can buy like these Olo clips for a couple $100, so like $200-300, and then now you have that same access like on your iPhone. So Yeah,
What
that's like
about I'm sure you get this question a lot. Like what do you think like a good like starter camera is?
a good starter camera. So I started with the Canon T5, and that was like 600 bucks. But I would say like my number one camera right now would be the Sony A6300, because you're getting 4K, and like because of the way technology has advanced, like 4K is the standard. So you can
Hmm.
get a pretty good 4K camera for like, like use like maybe like 700 bucks. So that's what I recommend.
Yeah, what about I heard before to buy like a older body and then like get the newer lens or like a better lens
Definitely.
and or spend more money on the lens versus the body.
Definitely. I have a really bad joke that I'm not gonna say on live. I'll probably DM it to you after, but you marry your body, and then your camera body, and then you're kind of like loose with your lenses, because the bodies, the technology, they don't change that often.
Yeah.
Like they're not innovating the camera bodies, so you can get a good like Canon camera that came out like 8 years ago, but just make sure that your lenses are like fast and up to date, and you'll be fine, especially for sports photography.
Were you surprised I knew that?
Yeah, I'm like, I mean, you seem like, did you do some research?
Nah, well, yeah, well, yes and no. I don't have a camera, but one of my friends is a photographer, and I asked him like random questions like that before.
How many
Uh,
photographers do you have on your team right now?
Zero. Not like officially. Like I don't. I mean, I work with. I mean, I work with. I don't know, a few different people.
Okay. All right. Let me know. We could
Uh,
work something out. I will gladly become a PG
yeah,
content creator.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I just do. I mean, usually just like project based. It's pretty much the last 3 years I worked with three people that I went to school with. Kind of just randomly because they all just started doing it. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I remember being in college and I wanted to intern for you. Like, I was like sending my resume. You had like this listing on Indeed, and I'm like, yo, he's right in
You
West
sent it to me.
Haven. Yeah, but it never came, like nothing ever came of it. But I'm glad like we were able to connect. Um,
I'll have to look at my old. Um, yeah. Which
yeah, this was back in like
what
2000
events?
something.
Yeah, I'll have to look at my emails. That'll be funny to find. Um, what what's like your favorite events to shoot?
My favorite would be concert like concert photography. Like that's what I'm kind of known for, is like going to different like music festivals and like concerts, and like taking like photos and like videos. But honestly, I want to get more into sports photography. You actually gave me my first shot of like covering the Chad Dawson fight at Foxwoods.
Hmm.
Um, Before that, like I never did any kind of like sports photography, so that's something that I definitely want to get into, like whether it be like basketball or like boxing and stuff like that.
Yeah. What about what's your? I'm sure you have a lot, but what's maybe let's like say what's your top three favorite ones so far?
My top three favorite, like concert photography for sure. I
Well, I'm
would
saying
say,
like which concert though.
oh, my top shows that I've been to.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hard because I've been to so many. I shot this festival for Adidas in the Bronx, and they had like Majid Jordan headline. It was like Majid Jordan, Young Thug, Tory Lanez. Like they had Gunna, Pusha T. Like it was a lot of major artists.
Yeah.
Little Skies, like it was everyone that's like pretty relevant. They had like the City Girls. So a lot of like rap artists that are like pretty popular. That was awesome, but it was like all day. So like I arrived at 3 p.m. and I didn't move until like 3, 4 a.m. So it's like pretty demanding to be like a festival shooter.
Yeah.
Um, So that was like my number one. I would say my number two, a show I just did, and it's crazy because the artists they just passed away, Pop Smoke and Waterbury. That was like my first time seeing him perform, or even like hearing his music. And he's super talented, had great crowd control, but unfortunately he recently passed. So um, you know, I'm a little bit sad about that, but it was a good show. And then I would say my third show, I just went on a tour stop with Rhapsody and Rock Nation. So, you know, being able to go on a tour stop for an artist on like a major label like Rock Nation. And then like Rhapsody is like really talented. I don't know if she has like a Grammy, but I think she's been Grammy nominated. So that was like
Mm-hmm.
major for me. Yeah.
That's dope. What about, is there somebody that you really want to shoot for?
Someone that I would really want to shoot for. Oh man, if I could shoot for anyone right now, it would be Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez. Um, he's he's like really popular right now. I haven't seen any of his lives. I don't know what's going on. But like he's really creative and like he edits his own music videos. So maybe like he could teach me something too. And yeah, I like Tory Lanez a lot.
Yeah, I mean he's smart too because he just dropped his album I think today.
Yeah, so you know, he has, I think that was his last album on his label, so now he has complete control and he's taking advantage of it by using like Instagram Live to get all that attention. So yeah.
You think college going to college is worth it?
Was going to college worth it? Yes. Yes, for so many reasons. Um, so it college is the first, for me, it was the first way to learn how to invest in myself and take advantage of it, right? Like I signed up for school, like I committed to the funding and I'm like, okay, like, you know, this company just gave me like $35,000 to go to school and like, you know, what can I make of it? You know, other than just getting a degree, like I can travel abroad, I can make really good friends, like I can intern, like, you know, so I don't think a lot of people think about college that way, but it's kind of like someone giving you the front money to really like invest in yourself. So I would say college was worth it. And then you also learn like a lot of people skills and like living on your own as an adult without the responsibilities of like having like rent. If you stay on campus, like, you know, it's a little bit safer. So you
Mm-hmm.
protect like your credit score, your reputation. Like, so I would say it was worth it. I plan on going back for my master's. So I had a good time during my undergrad.
Wait, why are you going back for your master's?
So I do have a day job. I'm a software engineer. So I love technology. Like we're using technology now to create and tell stories. So like I want to be like one of the people that like have a part in this and making sure that technology is accessible for everyone. So like I like building websites and like mobile apps. And one of my friends is in the chat. She's into technology. She's like at a major company. So like she's kind of like a mentor. So yeah, definitely going back for like a master's in computer engineering is on my list.
So you don't want to be a full-time photographer?
I would love to be a full-time photographer, but it isn't lucrative right now. You know, like
Well, now
it's a
especially
very
with nothing going
saturated.
on, yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so I freelance for Hearst Media
Mm-hmm.
and so they produce the LA Times, the New York Times, and like that's great to have on my resume. But it's like, you know,
Yeah,
I can't afford to buy all the new camera gear with my photography money. So yeah.
yeah, for sure. What about I think more so now like artists and even like I'm sure you know like Gary Vee are just like hiring people to just like follow them around pretty much. Would you do something like that?
I would, and I applied to work for Gary Vee, but it didn't go anywhere. I probably will have to try again and like up my skills a little bit because he has a really talented videographer, D Rock.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like he's super friendly, like very positive, just like Gary Vee. So I would love to find someone to follow around and kind of just record their day to day and like try to help them craft their brand. So yeah,
What
I
about like
would.
what other artists like reached out to you? Because I know you had like they reposted your stuff or what? Yeah, like a lot of times. So.
Yeah, I would say I get more requests from record labels. So like
Okay.
the
Well,
labels
that's
write
better, right?
me. What was that?
I'm saying that's better, right?
Yeah, it's definitely better because the record labels are cutting the checks.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
most most rappers don't pay like for anything. They kind of they're
Yeah.
the talent, and the people behind them cut the checks. So yeah,
Yeah.
I like it that way.
So
But
who?
I
Yeah,
have
who's reached out to you?
a music video coming out for an artist on Jada Kiss's label, D Block. So that's something that I'm excited to get going once we can go back outside.
Yeah. What about like video versus like photos? You do. Have you done anything like making like commercials, like mini videos or?
That's something that I plan to do, like for my production company,
Mhm.
Passion Pushers.
Yeah.
So I've been talking to a few barbershops and restaurants to talk about putting together marketing pieces. And my undergrad degree is in marketing, so I think about video as an artist, but I'm always thinking about the business behind it. So that's something that I plan to do. Definitely putting out commercials and like marketing pieces for a brand.
I think you're thinking too small.
You think I'm thinking too small? Tell me.
Yeah.
I need this. What should I be doing?
Well, I'm saying when you just said like local business, like I was thinking like it's like do commercials and stuff for brands and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we should I mean off live, like if you can give me
What's
some
up,
tips,
Derek?
because I know like you're able to pull in like a lot of different like clients and like partnerships, and that type of advice is something that I'm looking for. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, we could talk after. What someone said? What programs do you use for editing footage? That's a good one.
For editing, I use the Adobe Creative Suite. So right now I'm using Adobe After Effects and Adobe Premiere Pro. But I got my start on Final Cut Pro. I just like Adobe more because they have like different like media encoding platforms. Like they really give you an entire suite to like amplify your audio, video, and then you can get into like graphics and 3D modeling with After Effects. So and I think it's worth the money. Like $20 a month for like Lightroom, Photoshop, and Premiere is a pretty good deal. So yeah, I'm all the way on Adobe for editing software.
What's up, overtime or out of town? I don't know who that is actually, but maybe I do. I don't know. What was I gonna say? Oh, how do you feel about iMovie?
iMovie. So I used to teach video editing for Apple, and like iMovie is one of the classes that we would go over. And surprisingly, you can get a lot out of iMovie, like for basic video editing. It's a software that's really underrated. But for what I do, like I personally don't have a use for it. But yeah, I love iMovie for like basic, like quick
Mhm.
edits, like on the go. Um, it's really useful.
Yeah, I just use iMovie because I don't do anything crazy. But I just started using Final Cut.
Yeah. Final Cut is cool.
I think I had what do I have? I think I have Premiere too, but I didn't. I got it. Uh, Someone got it for me. Basically, we hacked it.
Yeah. I used to have to do a lot of that, a lot of hacking back when I first started because I had no funds for editing software.
Yeah, I just don't plan on using it a lot, so I was just like, I'm not gonna buy it. So,
Yeah. And that's the thing
uh,
with like going to school is like they like there's a lot of like hookups that you can get from like because like a lot of the schools they have partnerships with like Apple and like Adobe, so like you can
Hmm.
get the free software like or they'll have like a computer lab with everything on it, and you can like really learn from there.
Yeah, for sure. And then yeah, going into, I know you said you had a job too, but like as a freelance photographer, like how do you like pick up gigs, or like people reach out to you, you reach out to them, both?
I do more reaching out. And that's how like I get to work like with bigger artists because like I just DM them like
Hmm.
there's this NFL player that I put out some content for. He was on the Patriots, but he just moved over to the Jets. And I just like I saw that he was into photography, and I'm like, hey, like we should meet up, like, and we can like do some shots together, talk about camera gear, and it kind of led to me like take like I going out to the Patriots stadium and like doing some like BTS for him. So I use like Instagram to the fullest. The worst thing is they don't respond, but DMing has been like my go-to.
Yeah, definitely DMs for business.
Yeah.
That's what I like to say.
Right. Right.
Um, um, do you just like, do you just say like, yeah, check my page, like to see my work?
So I have like a tagline that I use. So I'm like, hey, like my name's Kayla, like I'm a videographer in Connecticut, and then I send them a link to my website because like though like they can look at all of my pictures on Instagram, like just sending someone like your website, like it to me it just comes off like more professional, and
Hmm.
like they'll remember me better that way because they have this website. It's a link that they can send to like their boss or like their partner,
Yeah,
and like I can get approved and I separate myself from like the crowd because anyone can like have an Instagram account, but it shows that I take it seriously because I invest in having like a website.
yeah, definitely. What about I know you said when you shot for the Chad Dawson fight and Tremaine fight, that was your first sports event. So how what was that like?
Oh man, so I was really nervous because it's like a new environment. Like concerts are like really high paced and like the artist is bouncing around, but sports like you have to know like where to get your shots, like where you can stand, where you can't stand, and like like where's the boxer or like the athlete going to be, like what's their like go-to moves, and like I was really learning on the fly. But I got some really good shots. And like with boxing in
Yeah, you did.
particular, is like if someone gets like knocked out or gets knocked down, it's like it's really good content, but do I want to put that out there and like kind of like make the athlete or like the fighter look bad, and then that could potentially like ruin a relationship. So like that's something that I had to think about too, when covering certain fights.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, boxing and MMA is definitely different than any other sport because I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I guess I don't think like a in baseball, I don't think like a pitcher or a batter would get mad if you had a shot of them getting struck out or whatever, or hitting a home run. You know, like, I don't think, but like yeah, maybe a boxer would if you, especially if you tag them in it, then that's just like messed up. It's, I've seen people do
Right,
it. I'm
yeah.
just like, yo, I don't know. Like, if you should be tagging like you could tag the person that knocked the person down, but I don't know if you should tag the person that's getting knocked down,
Yeah, I have a
even if they
relationship
won the
with.
fight.
Yeah, he won the fight. But when you saying that, like I have a relationship with Floyd Mayweather's videographer.
Hmm.
So, like when you're working for someone on that caliber, like we'll
Oh
never,
yeah,
if I don't even know, like Floyd Mayweather is like the best in my opinion, but like we'll never see like those behind the scene moments, because
yeah. Well, the other unwritten rule in like boxing is you're not supposed to film like sparring.
right, yeah,
Um,
I've heard that. I've heard that
but
one.
some people do that, but they're doing it just for their own, just to watch the film back. But then some people leak it, obviously. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a good way to not get hired again.
yeah, pretty much. What about like my question is always like, I'm curious, how do you like store everything and like how many hard drives and stuff do you have?
So I have 6 terabytes of space here. I have one large 4 terabyte that sits on my desk. It doesn't go anywhere. Like I treat that as like my main backup space.
Mhm.
So I back up my 2 computers and all of my photos and videos. But then I have two 1 terabyte hard drives that come with me on the road. So those are like for quick dumps. Like if I have to turn around a project, like, like right after a show, or like when I'm freelancing with Hearst, I have a 4 hour editing window. So I have to, take all of my minimum requirements and get them up on the website within 4 hours. So that's like my quick, like run and dump, like hard drive setup, and they're durable. So like if I drop it at a concert, like I don't want to lose all that footage. So like I tend to take the smaller hard drives with me on the road. But storing and keeping track of my files is something that I'm still learning. And it's really hard. Like I'm not gonna lie, I have like stuff all over the place. So I definitely need to get better with that.
What kind of computer do you use?
I use a MacBook Pro 2017 with a touch bar. Um, that's my personal like computer, but I also have a Windows machine that I use like for like quick edits. Like just trying to deliver stuff out to clients who like are on the PC platform. It's a little bit easier to communicate with them that way.
Gotcha. What about can you send your pictures from your camera to your phone?
Yes, my camera. I use a Sony A7 III, and the camera has Wi-Fi within it, so I can pair my phone to my camera's Wi-Fi network, and I can send like all the video and like photos like right to my phone. And then I have like editing programs on my phone, so like as soon like if I'm working for an artist, like I can get them like photos and videos like right after they're done on stage. So that's like another like benefit or like selling point that I give to people when they want me to come on tour with them.
Yeah. So has anyone ever asked you like right away, like you just said, like right after?
Yes. So for that festival with Adidas, Little Skies, he DM'd me. He's like, "Hey, like I saw that you had this picture. Like, can you send it to me?" So like I sent him the photos, and like the only downside to that is I don't have my logo on my phone.
Yeah.
So like I can't use Photoshop to like throw my logo on the picture. So like I'm sending them a picture without my logo. And if they tag me, great, but if they don't, then it's like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of app on your phone. You probably throw it on there somehow. But
Yeah,
I hate
I
using
gotta look
apps though
into
too,
it.
because I like doing everything on my computer.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
And everyone's the other thing is like some people always ask me is like, yo, how do you do this stuff? And I'm just like on my computer, and then they're like, then they say, oh, I don't use my computer, or I don't have a computer, because I guess a lot of people are just using their phones now. And I'm just like, you could do way more on a computer. I don't understand what you don't understand about that.
Yeah, I'm old school. Like I like to do everything on a computer. Like I like to sit
Yeah.
at my desk and
Yeah.
like knock everything out on my computer. So yeah.
What have you done any other sporting events since the boxing event?
Yes. So I covered the Dartmouth versus Yale hockey game, and that was nice. Like hockey again is like its own different like sport, and it's hard to like keep track of like where are they gonna be, like what's the best place to get a shot. But I've been covering like some of the Yale sporting games, and like those are always fun, but not as exciting as like pro boxing or like pro basketball.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What other sport do you want to do?
Oh man, football. There's a creator. His name is Ty Rogers. So he started at University of Michigan, and he was like freelancing for Cam Newton, and like now like he does video work for like Spalding and like a lot of different brands. So football is like really taken off right now in terms of like video and photo. I'm actually in this networking group for creative professionals in the NBA and NFL. So like I'm always keeping an eye out for like different jobs, or like if there's someone that needs help, like I can like try to fly out or meet them at a stadium to get my foot in the door.
Yeah, I actually saw a crazy story on Twitter with Cam Newton and the kid. I forgot how he started with him, but somehow he started with Cam Newton, and then he was just like his personal guy. And then I think he has some kind of brand or media company. Then he started working for them, Cam Newton's thing, and now he works. And then the Panthers hired him, which is cool.
Yeah, like if I can find an athlete, and they don't have to be like someone as like well known as Cam Newton, but if they're like an athlete and they want like some help with like their image or like their content, I would definitely love to like partner with them, and like and we can learn from each other. So like if I do get that opportunity, like I'm prepared to like deliver on that scale.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the other thing you told me you're taking film classes at Yale.
Yes, Yale, they have a lot of great partnerships with like companies like Adobe, and I'm able to rent like different camera gear and kind of like work on like my knowledge of equipment and lighting, which has been like a weak point for me because like it costs so much money to learn how to work within a studio and like with different lighting kits. So I'm really glad that Yale like allows me to use their space and like learn from their professors. So it's been amazing so far. Yeah.
And what about what have you had to overcome as being a female photographer?
Oh man, I would say like definitely in the concert space, there's not a lot of like female photographers. So like
Mm-hmm.
the security can be very like hands-on. And like when you have like an artist that's like a major artist, so like I was shooting a show for DaBaby, and like he's huge and he has like a lot of jewelry and it's expensive and they have to protect the artist. So like the security can get handsy and like pushing, and I'm like, you know, like I respect that that's their job the same way that I'm doing a job, but like I kind of gotta like remember like to stay safe and be
Mm-hmm.
mindful of like what's going on in the crowd, because like they can get pretty rough. So I don't want to get like caught in between that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
What about like has anybody like I want to say like not hired you because you were a girl?
No, I don't think so. I think people are more surprised and they want to work with me because I'm a girl. Um, but like I do know that I have a responsibility to like deliver and do my best, because like I'm setting the tone for other like female creatives. So like I want to make sure that I'm doing a really good job like as a female creator, so like other females can come and like they'll have more opportunities to create also. So like kind of like being an example.
Yeah, so um what other things do you want to do? Like what are your goals? And yeah, I mean we already talked about your I guess not dream projects, but like other things. Yeah, what's your dream project maybe?
Oh, my dream project. That's a hard question. My dream, well, I would say like to get my production company off the ground.
Yeah.
Um, that's something that I'm working on, and like finding other videographers to partner with. And if I can get my production company off the ground with like 5 consistent clients, to me, like that's a dream, because like the goal is to like take something that you're passionate about, or like a skill that you have, and like make a living off of it. So if I can like have my own production company and keep it like running and like live off of it, and then also like hire other people, that would be my dream right there. Yeah.
What about after Corona's over, which hopefully I don't know before summer, but what are your plans to do this year?
My plans are to man, shoot more music videos.
Mm-hmm.
That's something new that I picked up this year. I have one music video that I put out, and I have like some clients that are interested in working with me, like some really talented local artists in like New Haven in the Hartford area. So as soon as Corona is over, I'm hoping that it's soon. I'm gonna shoot a few music videos. Yeah.
Okay. You have a YouTube page too? Yeah, you got a YouTube.
I have a YouTube, but there is not much up there, to be honest. And that's another thing that I can do like during the downtime is like work on like my digital like footprint. Like I have my website, my Instagram, but I really need to work on my YouTube presence.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I asked everything I wanted to ask.
All right, cool. I mean, um, this has been great. Like I'm still new to live, and but if you like want to like partner up on like some projects after Corona's over, like I pop shoot me a DM and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna probably hit you up right after this, actually.
All right, cool. Yeah, it's been good talking to you.
All right, you too.
All right, bye.
That's it.